right, we are back with another Prize Picks video. This is where we'll be talking about NBA. We got 7 games tonight, so a lot of good picks out there to choose from. I'm going to ultimately give you guys 6 picks, and you can obviously mix and match those with whichever ones you like the best, and some of your own picks or picks you got elsewhere. But before we do that, I always want to say subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're ripping out content like this every single day. I had 3 videos yesterday. We did NBA, we did MLB, which we had a great day, and then college football video is out right now. A couple of those games have started, but there's definitely some eligible picks still on later in the day. So go check that video out if you haven't already. And yeah, just subscribe, like the video if you like it, and then comment down below if you're gonna tail, if you're gonna fade some of these picks, and try to change my mind on some of these if you don't like them. So let's go over our picks from last time and then get into the board. These, unfortunately, were the picks from last video. The 2 greens, Dort and Thompson, weren't sweats at all. They dominated. We knew Dort could have an offensive explosion, which he did, and we also knew that he could come out and grab some boards. Even with Chet gobbling up a lot of those, Dort had a great night. Thompson, this line's just going to keep creeping up for the rookie. They just haven't figured that out yet. Vegas hasn't, that he's a board machine. Does a little bit of everything. He's like a firecracker on the court. And then our 4 misses, I will say Sengun and Rozier might have just been bad misses. Sengun I really, really like as a player. I will not be disrespecting him like this for a while. So, and I think he had more than this. I think he had like 25. So PrizePicks only showing 21. And this was like an overtime game. Pretty fun one to watch. And then Rozier, LaMelo and Hayward kind of gobbled up both of those, or all of those assists that to be had. Wasn't involved in the passing game much. And then for the 2 other ones, the first quarter ones we messed around with, I will say Jaylen Brown missed a free throw that would have put him over and then got subbed out of the game, which sucked. And then Kyle Lowry, of course, comes in and shoots 1 for 1 from 3. So knocked down the 1 3-pointer he took. So that sucked. But let's bounce back here. All right, so it looks like we do have a Zion discount here. Only 13% off, so nothing crazy. He did get it in the game against Memphis, but obviously with not being able to see Zion too much, this is a hard one to maybe judge. But if they're giving this to the discount, definitely look into it. Zion's can score in a hurry, so definitely something I might be interested in. Just haven't looked too far into it specifically yet. But let's go into our first pick. We're going to go into Mitchell Robinson here. Let's see if I can get his points and rebounds line at 14.5. We're going over here, so they're going up against the Pelicans in a matchup that I really like for him. Let's just open up his page here on Outlier and go to his points and rebounds. 14.5 is a minus 115, so pretty even odds here. In the 2 games that he has played so far, he's gone up against Boston where he didn't get there, and I think that makes sense. Going up against a versatile big man in Porzingis, a guy that can really, really stretch the floor, and a guy that I think he's gotten into foul trouble. Yeah, only played 22 minutes in that game. Just not a great matchup for him, whereas the Clint Capella matchup in Atlanta is a good matchup for him. More of a traditional big man. Mitchell Robinson's not slow, but he definitely, can bang down there with the big boys. Just a huge body, and I think he thrives when he goes up against these traditional big men. And then going up against Valanciunas tonight, who's kind of a hybrid, but obviously huge body, will bang down low. He likes to gobble up rebounds, but he also stretches the floor just a little bit. But in terms of going up against Valanciunas, the 2 matchups, the closest matchups, this one back in October 2021. But the 2 closest matchups we had against Valanciunas, we saw Mitchell Robinson drop 17 points and 15 rebounds, and then 11 points and 13 rebounds. Obviously, Zion is here now as well, but Zion really not known for his defensive presence, other than like kind of the flashy blocks he gets that show up on SportsCenter. So I think Mitchell Robinson's involved today. He pretty much just has to stay out of foul trouble, and this one looking really, really good. So Mitchell Robinson over 14.5 points. They're going to need his size down there, so he should play the minutes again unless he gets into foul trouble. Next up, we're going to be talking about DeMar DeRozan. And I was looking at his points, rebounds, and assist line, but I think I'm actually just going to go straight for his points line here. Zach LaVine is questionable for this game. It's looking like he is going to play. He is probably just getting that questionable tag because it is a back-to-back. But obviously, if he doesn't play, this DeRozan line is pretty much a lock. But Zach LaVine has not been playing well at all so far this year, and DeRozan's kind of been the guy that has picked up that slack. He's had 20 points, I believe, and then like 33 points last game. So if you think DeRozan's slowing down, he's not. Let's pull up his points page on Outlier here. Yeah, so 2023, The DVIG odds are really liking this at -128 once you get rid of that sportsbook advantage. Going up against a Detroit team, obviously you can't really go off their stats from last year because Duran's obviously coming into his own. They have the rookie Oscar Thompson, who's been really really good. So I like their identity they're turning into, but I think DeRozan can really take advantage of an inexperienced team, some inexperienced players, get to his spots in the mid range, and really do some damage. So I'm liking Levine. I mean, not Levine. I'm liking DeRozan here, as Levine's kind of in a slump to start this season, maybe banged up with that back injury. But I'm really liking DeRozan. In terms of the head-to-head here as well, he has gone over, very close to over this, pretty much right at that 21. Pretty good line, honestly. But has the explosion potential. 36 points here, 26 points here. He had 33 in that game. Last game. So, this is a different team than the Detroit team he has gone up against. And a lot of that has to do with, I'm sure in these games, Levine probably had 30 or whatever. So with Levine kind of maybe hobbled to start the season, I'm really like DeRozan in this spot as well. So DeRozan's going to be pick number 2. Then let's go to our next pick. This might not be a popular pick. Definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comments on this one. I'm going to Joel Embiid, and I'm actually going under. And I would actually go under on a lot of things for Embiid in this game. The only thing I can kind of think about him is him being playing angrily because, the Harden situation's been annoying for him, coming off a 1-point loss to Milwaukee in the opener. But I'm going to fade Embiid today. I'm going to be fading Embiid, and it's because I don't like his matchup. I don't think he plays well against Toronto. I didn't think this even before I looked into it. But just a lot of big, versatile players, quick players on that Toronto team. Obviously, they do have Jakob Poeltl now, kind of more of a traditional big. But just a quick, long team out there in Toronto, and I don't think it works for Embiid. But let's just jump into his page here and kind of show you what I saw here as well, and kind of the reason I chose his blocks and steals line. Let's go to his blocks and steals line. Okay, so in this season so far, he has missed the game he played against Milwaukee. Obviously, a totally different matchup. But again, going up against the Toronto team, from last year, they're 15th ranked in terms of blocks allowed, and then they don't allow many steals. So, that's something that's positive. They don't have much of a changeover in terms of their front court, at least, from last year. So under is looking good at -130. This is what obviously is one of the main things I looked at. 11 of the last 12 games, he's gone under this line against Toronto. And you will say, maybe you're saying, oh, they got Jakob Poeltl now. He's more of a traditional big man. I actually looked a little bit further into that. And he doesn't often do it against Jakob Poeltl either. He's only averaging 1.2 blocks against him and 0.5 steals. That obviously wouldn't exceed the 2.5 line. But he did it in this game in 2022 back in October. But then before that, he hadn't done it since December 2017. So he doesn't do it much against Toronto, and he doesn't do it against Poeltl very often either. So I'm liking the combo there. I'm fading Embiid. 2.5 blocks and steals. We're going under. Next up, we're going to go back to Eric Gordon here, 14.5 points. You'll see that he had 15 points in the last game. We played that with a lot of confidence, and he hit this line with 8 minutes left in the third quarter. I kid you not. I was watching the game. He hit a 3 with 8 minutes left in the third quarter, and then absolutely went ice cold, just like everyone else on Phoenix except for Kevin Durant. So no Booker and no Beal again today. I'm going to be attacking this line as long as they're out. Eric Gordon is definitely the number 2 scoring option behind Durant. Nurkic obviously had a horrible game, was dealing with foul trouble. He might be someone I look into again if I can try to trust him again after he failed me. But Eric Gordon did not, and he's getting the shot attempts. Both games he's played so far this year, that includes with Booker. He's shot 16 times in both those games. Let's just go to his points line. D-Vig's loving it at -135. So really liking it. Scored 10 points here, but he's shot horribly. So I expect him to maybe finally have a good shooting night. 25% in that first game with the 16 shots, 38% in that second game with, again, the 16 shots. But I think he crushes this line. I think you see him go over 20 and maybe shoot a little bit more efficiently today. In a matchup against Utah that last year gave up a decent amount of points, they're looking pretty much like the same team other than, John Collins coming in. But that doesn't affect Eric Gordon much. I'm really liking his over 14.5 points. Next up, we are going to go to Bam Adebayo. I'm going to be playing Bam Adebayo mostly because of the news with Jimmy Butler being out. He's had a great start to the year. He's been scoring the ball, 27 points, 22 points. That's something we really like to see. with no Jimmy Butler here, does that affect him in a negative way or a positive way? I think he's fine either way. But I will say he's going up against a Minnesota team that you might say, oh, he's going up against Rudy Gobert. He won't be able to get a shot down. I don't think that's true. I think he's very versatile. Obviously, he's not the biggest body down there. He's 6'10 or something. But I think he uses that to his advantage to maybe, slip up, maybe get those guys in foul trouble. And I'm really liking Bam today. At 31.5, I think he could get there at his points alone. Obviously, he's going to have to grab some rebounds against these guys. They're going to need his size. So really, really liking Bam in this spot. I will show you his stats without Jimmy Butler just real quick. Oops. I will show you those stats if I can pull it up. Bam Adebayo. Let's go to his points, rebounds, and assists. For 2023, first of all, he's done it in both of these games. Just having a really good year, 8 rebounds and 7 assists. He's someone that can, 7 rebounds and 8 rebounds. He's someone that can pass the ball as well. A lot of those guys in Miami maybe just haven't been hitting shots. But without Butler, he's going to be one of the main, facilitators, I think, as well. Again, no Gabe Vincent anymore. Missing a lot of those guys from last year. So he's got to definitely step up. In terms of last year without Jimmy Butler, that's what I came here to do. Let's go to Jimmy Butler. Out. So 2022, he did it in 11 of 16 games. So you can see, he's kind of one of the guys that mainly steps up when Butler is out. So really, really liking Bam in this spot. And then kind of last but not least, last but least, I was going to give you guys 6 picks, but I'm going to let you guys choose on this one. I am personally not going to put it in the video picks because I am worried against this matchup. He's going up against Memphis. Memphis, if you don't know, just traded Tyus Jones in the offseason. He was a part of that Porzingis and Marcus Smart deal, I believe. So Tyus Jones is going up against a team that traded him, and I personally do not want to play it just because of that reason. I was going to go under his 11.0 rebounds and assists line here, and I'll show you why I really like it. So if you're someone that thinks that doesn't matter, definitely go ahead and play this with confidence. But I just personally can't get past it. I think that because I know that and say, oh, that's not going to matter, then he's going to end up having like a triple-double or something crazy. Oh, okay. Superstition's the word I was trying to think of. But maybe it's not even, maybe he comes in and plays with a little more aggression because he's pissed that they traded him. But yeah, that's kind of the reason I'm kind of fading this. But looks good in every other aspect of the bet. It's minus money to go under the 7.5 at minus 128. It's minus money to go under this rebounds line at 3.5 at minus 130. So both of those are looking good. And then when you combine that is the 11.0 line we have on PrizePicks. So it's just something I really, really like. But yeah, going to fade it just because of the superstition I have for teams playing against their old teams. So that's going to do it. Mitchell Robinson over 14.5 points and rebounds. DeMar DeRozan over 21.5 points. Joel Embiid, we're fading under 2.5 blocks and steals. Eric Gordon, we're going back to 14.5 points. Hopefully he shoots better than like 32% or whatever he's shooting horribly. And then Bam Adebayo over 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So that's going to be the video picks for today. Definitely go check out college football. I know this one's a little bit later in the day. I do apologize for that. But you should have some time to, get these picks in and think about them before the games start tonight. So, yeah, that's going to do it. Hopefully make some money tonight. Peace out.